Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a get ready with me. I haven't done one of these in a very long time, so let's get started. Okay, so today I was deciding on what I want to do. I haven't been playing with a lot of makeup lately. I've just been putting on my everyday makeup in somewhat of a routine type situation, and I use the same stuff every day. So I've been actually going through quite a few palettes because I'm aggressively using one palette at a time until it's almost used up or until I'm kind of done with it and moving it on. I realized I have too much of a collection, and so I want to start to use what I actually have and use it up first before I go buy more. But today we're going to be using a very simple palette. These are ones that I love, and you've seen me talk about these on my channel, and these are from the Dollar Tree. And this is the 6-color eyeshadow all day wear crease proof color, and this is Night Out. And so for $1.25 you can get these, and the formula is really outstanding, I think, in comparison to like Tarte. So I really like it. One thing about these is these are semi shimmer, but for some reason I like to work with shimmers because they are easy to apply, if that makes sense. The pigment isn't so much that when you put it on you end up putting too much on, and for someone like me who's not a professional makeup artist, I think it's better. All right, so let's take a look at this one. I've had this one before, and I used pretty much all of it up. I took some of the colors out and combined it with another one. So let's open this up here, if we can get it open. It seems like everything these days has like some kind of a closure that's really frustrating to get open. And last night I was sitting on the couch and I had my little bottle of Pellegrino I just grabbed out of the fridge, and I tried to open it and I literally could not open it. I did not have the strength to open it, and I was like, oh, this is great. This is new. Anyway, so here we go. So this is a cute little 6-pan palette, and there's the color story. It's really nice. So you've got your lighter shade here, you've got a nice pink, you've got a taupe, which is beautiful, and then you have a gray here, which I think we're going to play with that today, and then you have a darker gray, and I want to say a black, a charcoal. So here's the color story, real pretty. So let's get into this beautiful cute little $1.25 palette. I think out of all of the inexpensive eyeshadow I have ever used, I believe these 6-pan palettes are by far the best quality as far as the formula is concerned, because they're not so drying. Sometimes LA Girl, not to be confused with LA Colors, is a little bit, the formula is a little bit dry. I'm going to put my hair back here. All right, so I have my brows on, and I am faithfully still using the Joa in Cool Blonde. Gives me a nice cool blonde color. And now my mirror is going to be over here, but I will try to apply directly so you see what I'm doing. All right, I haven't done this for a while. It's been a while. So I'm going to go in. I have my lotion on, my pre-face lotion. I'm going to go in with the Milani primer. We're just going to put a little bit of primer. Make sure those colors are off my fingers, not that I put. Now this primer seems like it has a little tint, but that tint ends up blending in to your skin, so it won't color correct. So if you feel like you have shading or dark areas, I would either go with some kind of a color corrector, or I would go with a concealer as your base. But if you have oily eyelids and your shadows tend to migrate, move, then this is fantastic. And you can put this on under the concealer if you want, and that will hold your concealer down and it will hold everything else in place. All right, and then I'm going to go in with my concealer. Okay, so I'm still using the e.l.f. concealer. I'll put colors and everything down in the description box. I believe this is called Light. This is a lightweight concealer, so it is not heavy at all. It does not settle into my fine lines and wrinkles. It just gives me a very, very light coverage, just enough to maybe cover some of those veins a little bit, maybe a little bit of discoloration, but not a lot. So it's not a heavy, heavy concealer. Again, my favorites are the Maybelline Fit Me. If you want to go for a more medium, and if you want to go for even heavier than that, you need to go with like a Shape Tape or something like that, or something like it. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and set this. And I'm going to use the LA Colors Glam palette to do that. I am actually using this color right here since this does not have a matte bone shade. But my other favorite, as you know, is the Wet n Wild Brulee. And you can also use a light colored setting powder to do this step as well. And I set my brows and I set everything that seals the deal. And it seems like the eyeshadow goes on like super duper easy when I do that. And I'm going to go in here with one of my favorite brushes from Walgreens. And you've seen this too. I don't see a need to change a successful tool. So this is my Walgreens double-ended shadow brush. It's got your fluffy side and your placement side, and this is a great travel friend because it does it all. So, all right, so we're going to go in here now, and I'm going to decide what I'm going to do for the darker area. I think I'm going to mix the taupe and the gray. So I'm going to go in with the taupe here, and we're going to use the fluffy side. And I'm going to go ahead and lay that down right up in here. And like I said in my other videos, this shadow is effortless. It really, really is. It just goes on so nicely. I don't have to afraid I'm over applying. I do tap my brush off just a little bit. But I'm just going to put this on the outer. This is kind of going to be the crease shade, I guess you could call it. And I'm just going to blend that in a little bit. Yeah, I haven't been playing with makeup as much as I used to. I just kind of sometimes get very routine, habitual about, you know, using the same palette and just putting it on every day, and I don't really get to play very much. So this is kind of my play day. It's kind of okay. I probably should have put my tape on to keep it in the lines. Let's do that. All right, got myself my medical tape that I get at Walgreens. And that's just going to help me not be so sloppy. That way I can have fun blending without having to do a lot of cleanup, smearing everything around. Plus, you get the cleaner line, which helps because as the years are wearing on, I notice my eyes are getting more and more droopy. The droopies. All right, so now I'm going to go in with this gray color, and I'm going to play with this a little bit, see if it's going to be, I'm going to layer. I'm layering these colors, so I'm changing this taupe to a gray taupe. That's changing the appearance just a little bit to a gray taupe, which I like. Ooh, it's pretty. Experiment with layering. Layering different colors, you're going to get a different color, which is nice. So it's kind of more of a blue. I'm kind of wearing a teal today, so I like that. And then I'm going to go in with this darker blue here. That color. Oh. I'm going to do it on the placement brush. I normally don't do that, but I want to be precise with this. Just want to put it up here. Don't want to put it everywhere. Again, it's layering on top of the gray, on top of the taupe. So it's going to give us like a nice kind of bluish, but not blue, like the 80s blue. Remember the 80s blue? Used to do our blue shadow. Don't want that. We want a more very subtle, muted blue in our, if you're in my age group. Want anything too. Okay, good. And then I'm going to clean my brush off on my handy dandy Dollar Tree microfiber cloth. And then I'm going to go in with that pretty pearly peachy pink thing. And then I'm going to do that just up under here. Just to give it a little, I think, I think I'm going to go with that also here on my lid. That's a really pretty color. I don't think I've ever showed you this palette by itself. The last palette that I showed you with some of these, I popped these out and I popped another set from another exact one out, and then I arranged them how I liked. So I don't think I've actually ever done a video with just this palette as it is without being altered in some way. So I like that. That's pretty. Okay, good. Then you have this really dark color here. We're going to use that as liner. So now I do need another brush. So I'm going to go with the little pointy, little tiny pointy brush. We're going to go into that black. I hardly ever do black. Just going to put that a little bit on my line up there. Just a little bit. It's pretty dramatic. See how that changes the look. You want to tap a lot with this one. Try to do it in the mirror here. And I'm just putting the color in the center here. I'm not putting it all the way over because my eyes droop down here. So I'm just putting it in the center. Kind of balance it out a little bit. And I'm blending it in. I'm going to take my microfiber and kind of clean up down here because the black really gets all over everything. Okay, so that's it for the eyeshadow. We're done there. I'm going to go ahead and peel my tape off. Looks pretty good. Not a very heavy application. It's daytime application, so. All right, good. And I have my lotion on, so I'm going to go ahead and put my foundation on now. I am using the Bare Minerals Original in Fairly Light. And I went ahead, and if you go now, you'll have a greater chance of getting the color that you want. But at Ulta, they have the Christmas gift. If you like Bare Minerals, the original, they have the gift sets now. So this is a larger quantity. You get double, I believe. The regular size is like 8 grams. You get 18 grams. So you get more, you get double, more than double the original amount. And it comes in this huge container. So, and it's just like the original. You've got the little holes and stuff. So it doesn't have a turn thing though to close off the holes. So what I did was I took the top, as you can see, and I cut it in half so it only exposes half the holes, so I don't have a huge mess going on. So I can really control how much powder I put in here to swirl, tap, and buff. So I usually use like about that amount. But this will last you probably a year or two, and it's a great price. So the original size, which I don't have on hand to show you, is 8 grams, so it's half the size of this. And I believe it is $29, somewhere around $30. For $12 more, you get double. So it's a really good deal, but you should go now if you're interested, because as we get closer to the holidays, they'll start to sell out. Now, one thing that Bare Minerals did this year that they hadn't done in previous years is they only sold this in a few colors before. Like they had like 4 different colors, and so you had to find one, and they didn't actually have my exact shade, which is Fairlight 03. But this year they have more colors. So check it out. You'll get twice the amount for $12 more. It's so worth it if you're a Bare Minerals lover like myself. And I don't use the Bare Minerals brush. You can use any kind of brush. The e.l.f. brushes are good. I'm just using this one from my set that I got off Amazon. So you can use any brushes you want. I like to use a smaller brush so I can get in the smaller spaces. So you just swirl, tap, and buff this in. And it just gives you, and it's SPF 15, so it's perfect for winter without an added SPF. Maybe during the summertime you might want to put an SPF under it. Still love this stuff. I've tried lots of powders, and I come back to this one every time because it's the only foundation that has 5 ingredients, and they're natural mineral ingredients. So nothing for your kidneys to process, no chemicals going into your bloodstream, and it just seems to make your skin look better and evens out skin tone. And if you like a thicker application, use a denser brush. The denser the brush, the more it will put on. I like to use a very loose, kind of fluffy brush because I don't like to put a lot on. You can layer it, but as you can see, I use that teeny bit amount, and that does my whole entire face. And I never feel made up, and I never feel like I'm wearing too much, and it doesn't feel like a mask, and it's lightweight and lets my skin breathe. And there's so many reasons I love this. It may not work for everyone, but it's definitely at the top 10 of my list. All right, and now I'm going to use a little bronzer. I know we're coming into winter time here just a little bit, but I'm finishing up this Heat Wave bronzer. I'm getting down to the bottom of a lot of my makeup. I've been really intentionally trying to use my makeup up. It was just too much. I started watching too many videos. I started wanting too many things. During COVID, I bought a lot of stuff I didn't need, just because it was fun. But I realized, I don't need all that stuff. I just need some basics. And so there we go. And this is in Sunrise L1. And I'm using the flower pot in Sweet Pea. Still love this color. I'm wondering when I'm going to hit the pan on this, because I have been using this for quite some time now. So get quite a bit of product with the flower products. I just love this color. It's just kind of like a dusty rose color. It's so pretty. All right, and just for fun, we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of highlight with my LA Girl highlight stick in Luminous. Now, I'm getting down to, that's what I have left. I noticed it's starting to dry out. Not really dry out, but put a little bit here, a little bit there. It just gives me a little glow. But it's starting to, definitely, it'll dry out eventually. Because I was thinking, gosh, how am I going to use all that highlighter? It's quite a bit of highlighter, but it does. So every once in a while, I'll put it up to about here and I'll scrape it off and just kind of make a new, fresh, clean top to it so that I get more of the moisturized product underneath. All right, so we're not going to go with eyeliner. I'm going to go ahead and curl my lashes, because we did the shadow as the liner. Let's see if I can grab my lash here. This is the Wet n Wild curler. And I bought a new mascara, you guys. I had a couple on my list I was going to try. I was very close to buying the CoverGirl new one, the purple one. And almost, and then I don't know what it was. It was a money thing. I was just like, $13, really? So I said, I'm going to try the Big Mood by e.l.f. for $6. Warning on this one, this will definitely volumize and lengthen your lashes. It has the most hugest brush I have ever seen. This brush is huge. Look at how big that is. Look at my thumb. I just want to show you. It's crazy big. Crazy. So when it says Big Mood, it should have said Big Brush, because that's really huge, right? I mean, look at it in comparison to the size of my eye. So I have to lean back so far to keep this brush from doing anything else. So if you have short lashes, this is not going to work for you. I have really long natural lashes. So, yeah, but it does make them thick. But look at that. Did I get some in there? Oh my goodness. It's a fatty. There's no two ways about that. It's way bigger than the Exhibitionist. But the formula, I think, is a little bit better. It doesn't flake, it doesn't smudge. I don't have the waterproof version. But it's huge. The brush is insane. So, now that I've mentioned that 3 times. It's huge. So, I don't think it's, for our age group, I think it's ridiculous. But, so I wouldn't really recommend it. I'll just be upfront with you. I think you'll be frustrated with the big brush on it, but it does lengthen and it does. do volume. So the price is good. Price is very good. And they do have a waterproof option. Waterproof option. All right, there we go. Looks good. Let's put on one of our favorite lipsticks. I really like this color. I'm loving this color. In the palette, this light color is so pretty. It's like a opalescent. It's not opalescent. It's just like a really super duper 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 light pink, but a cool pink. And it's really pretty. And we're gonna go with, my lipstick is going to be this color here, Mad for Mauve, in the Wet n Wild Shine lipstick, which is very moisturizing and wonderful. All right, I think we got through this video.